So it's gonna be 74th India's Independence Day. So as a nation, we have come quite far. We got a lot of accomplishments that we can brag about. Also, there are a lot of challenges that concerns us that we got to get to work. So on this 74th India's Independence Day, I've been reflecting what this nation is, and I'm appreciating my heritage, my connectedness to India. Next year, India is gonna recognize 75th India's Independence Day and thereby celebrating Diamond Jubilee. I'm sure the government is preparing for a big celebration for next year. India is called by so many names. There is one name that stands out for me. Somebody was trying to describe India as Bharata, and I asked what it means. Is it the name of emperor? But the person said, of course, there were emperors by the name Bharat or Bharata actually. But he said Bharata stands for Bhava, Raga and Thala. That is Bharata. That is Bharata. And so what it is when there is a Bhava, Raga and Thala, what happens is a perfect dance. So that is India. India is a perfect dance because of Bhava, Raga and Thala. There are so many examples that I can give how Bharata is really living and breathing as a nation. For example, there is an intersection close to my home in my village. So there are 5 roads coming together to make an intersection, but there are no controlled traffic lights, no policemen, no one to regulate it. But it happens. It happens in such a way that there are no accidents. But for an outsider to see that, it is nothing but a chaos. It's organized chaos. So people are coming from all directions, especially in rush hour. So you see the trucks, the bus, you see cyclists, pedestrians, two-wheelers, and there are buffaloes, cows, monkeys, and you have street vendors, you have drunken men all around, and people parking and reversing. All this is happening, and there are potholes, and so when somebody is driving, you got to look at 360 degrees, otherwise you can't make it. But in all this chaos, what I've seen is a perfect harmony, a perfect flow. But it's hard to explain how that happens. So that is India. There are so many things in India can't be explained, can't be described, but it happens. So it's a kind of a mysterious way, because when somebody comes from very organized, very developed country from North America or Europe, they get very confused and they get very scared looking at this, because no one can explain how all this is happening in India. And but it somehow happens, and sometimes there are no logics, there are no rational, but life happens. It is like going to a forest where we see a dense jungle, trees, shrubs, plants, and there are weeds, there are animals, insects, but all enmeshed together. For an outsider, it looks like a chaos, but they're all in perfect harmony. It's a living, breathing, organic life. So India is nothing but an organic life, just like this forest, just like this intersection. Things happen, but we can't rationalize, we can't give logic to this. So this is what is happening in India, and for a lot of people from Western world, people are struck with awe, and they appreciate. So a lot of urban planners, thinkers, designers come to India, and they looked at our organized chaos, and they looked at in particular the traffic mess that is in our big cities. But they studied it thoroughly, and they found that it's a perfect way to organize in their countries as a shared space, because that particular space is shared by so many entities and organisms, but there is no centralized control, but each entity will control and regulate itself, and they take responsibility to conduct responsibly. Thereby there are no consequences of negative kind. So based on that, the European urban planners, especially from Amsterdam, they wanted to create this organized chaos in their country. So they began an experiment in a city called Draxton, and they took out all the traffic lights, no policemen, no markings on the road, nothing. They said, you people, you manage it by yourself, just like in India. And to the surprise of urban planners, they found that when they removed all the controls by the central authority, the accidents came down. There were no negative consequences because people became very responsible. They became very alert while driving, while walking, while conducting themselves on a road. As a consequence, there was a perfect flow, perfect harmony, and thereby the idea of shared space originated. And it all came from experiences from India and other countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, and some African countries as well. And I think this is a great contribution to the world by India towards shared space that is happening in Europe and North America. I'm not appreciating organized chaos all the time, but there are some things that people in India got to take responsibility, organize and discipline themselves, because there are challenges to deal with. When it comes to the modern challenge that we have is concerning climate change. Climate change is for sure happening worldwide. So we have lost many rivers in India. So we have seen now flash floods still raging major rivers and causing mass destruction of life and properties. So this is causing because of our actions contributing to climate change. But this needs some responsibility, some organization and conscious effort to mitigate this, or else it's going to cause a lot of negative consequences. We are one of the youngest nations in the world. We have what they call as demographic dividend. No other country has this. It is claimed that India's average age is around 29 years, and there are people below 25 years, and they run to around 500 million people. So that's a big possibility. Young people means open to possibility, newer opportunities, newer dimensions that can be explored and actually lived. So being a young population, we got to take responsibility, organize certain areas of life, and take our country to our next level. Being a young nation in the world with a demographic dividend, it means that we are more resilient country in the world. When there are financial meltdown happening, when there is a major global economic crisis, India is able to be resilient, be able to cruise through this crisis much easier, because we have got a young population where there is a capacity to produce and consume locally and to keep the local economy very vibrant and revitalized when it really takes a bump. So this is the advantage that we as a nation, we have over other countries in the world. So we got to really optimize it to take India to next level. So as we are dealing with a pandemic situation right now, many experts are saying that India, despite many challenges, that we are able to cruise along, and there are so many factors. One of the factors where experts are appreciating is that people of Indian ethnicity have inherent or innate immunity to withstand pandemic like coronavirus, because in the past we also have dealt with polio that we have received BCG vaccine, which is withstanding some challenges that coronavirus is posing to us. So to some extent, people in India have shown some innate immunity, hoping that over a period of time it will build up herd immunity, and thereby we can bring this under control. And of course, there are work going on to bring vaccine into market as soon as the end of this year. Hopefully that will help us to get out and go in full swing and in full throttle, take this nation to next level. I'm very proud to have Indian ethnicity, Indian heritage, and my roots are in India. And with this, that I'm able to branch out to any part of the world. So this makes me very strong being in Canada, and my branches are really vibrant and stronger because of my roots in India. I'm very proud to be Indo-Canadian, and I'm very grateful, and because of richness of India, it brings me back all the time. This is where I like to be, because there is so much that I take from this nation to become a fulfilling person. So on the occasion of 74th India's Independence Day, I wish one and all Happy Independence Day, and that you find strength, courage, wisdom and clarity to navigate the challenges that we are faced with today, and also be very proud and be grateful to all the blessings and opportunity that this nation has given to one and all. And I wish you all great Independence Day celebration.